appreciate everyone coming this evening. What you are going to be observing this evening is a working meeting for all of the community policing councils. They are going to be in contact with their trainer, who was, how did Steve Rickman come about? The city petitioned for help from the DOJ, and they recommended Mr. Rickman. He has 25 years of experience working with community organizations, and specifically within the last 5 years, he's been doing this type of work with restorative justice and helping community organizations work with their communities. Yes?
How long is Mr. Rickman's contract?
I have no idea.
Can we see it?
I'm sure we can ask him. It's your, he works for you, so you can ask him those questions.
All right.
All right, so we're going to get Mr. Rickman on the phone. Hopefully, we've worked out all the bugs, so everybody should be able to hear.
I have a question. If the monitors can be paid for with our tax dollars, obligated to respond to New Mexico information protected that required?
I believe that the monitor is specifically exempted from IPRA, IPRA or OMA?
And both.
I believe that the monitor is specifically excluded from IPRA as based upon the settlement agreement. That's written in the settlement agreement of the court. Okay? And as far as the Open Meetings Act, these are all these are all citizens of the public. They're not a government entity, so therefore they're not subject to the Open Meetings Act.
So he is paid for by our tax dollars, but he's not responsible for the state law on contractors.
That's correct. That's how it is. Sometimes you just gotta accept it.
I have a question.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm clear?
Yes, can you hear us?
I'm clear.
Okay, great. We're just wrapping up, starting the meeting, and I know Mr. Hargis will be here. Actually, you know what, we're ready to start, so we're ready when you are.
All right, well, first of all, let me thank all of you for participating, and more importantly, for all of the energy and the effort, over the last couple of months. There's an amazing transformation. And I've been clearly tracking all the emails and seeing the minutes of meetings and the letters and just all the activity in general. I want to single out a couple of people, for developing their contacts with the CPP members and including participants, and also the outreach material service helping develop and disseminate. Eric Jackson is doing the building work on pulling together, those CPP guidelines, and we continue to work on that. And of course, Jim Tudor for all his great overall leadership, including in pursuit of CPP support options in our efforts, and coordinating his files and participation in court proceedings and other meetings. So it's just been incredible. I mean, I just think they're still working through is the issues around CPC membership and getting that through the line. I think that there's some stakeholders that have some views on that as well, that they have to take into account. I think the, next that relates to how we recruit, new members as well. The outgoing issues, the ongoing outreach efforts, have really been, hard for me. I've seen the letters of folks and you gave the contact with them there and saying that we need to stakeholders, all those things are really positive. And some CPCs are actively moving forward with expanding membership. So, I know that we, struggle with this, and sometimes it doesn't feel like we're making progress. And someone who's, some of an independent observer who's tracking and watching this, I'm really impressed with the energy, the focus, the enthusiasm, and the actual work that's getting done. And so I'm really interested today in catching up on what the, from your vantage point, what the CPCs are, what you see as your remaining challenges, and things we need to work on moving forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, I think it'd be great if we heard from the, just a quick update for the various CPCs real quickly. I mean, don't take long, we don't want to, other things we need to cover, but just to get us started, just give us a quick update on the CPC and any resolutions you passed recently or some of the challenges you faced, and, just a quick update.
All right, who wants to go first?
Steve, this is Doug Brosby, the Vice Chair for the Foothills. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Okay, the most recent recommendation that we have submitted, APD is already working on it, and it looks like it'll be completed in November. We've also had one council member that completed the 3-day course for certification as a crime prevention specialist, and that'll allow closer interaction and assistance to Jill Garcia, who's the Foothills Crime Prevention Specialist. And finally, we're coordinating with all interested parties, including people that we're hoping to recruit to change the meeting night because our present meeting night conflicts. It's the same time as the city council meeting, and many of our speakers and that we want, of course, are tied up there. So that's it for the Foothills.
Sounds great.
Mr. Rickman, this is Jen Ray, Valley Area Command. Can you hear me?
Yes.
How long is your contract with us for the CPC?
Actually, it's, I think it's, let's see, February, March, April, I think it's through maybe September, October, and so that's it.
Of this year?
But, yeah. I think it's for 6 months.
So what
Most of it
happens?
up front. But I'm willing to, to obviously provide ongoing support far beyond in terms of my contract. If people are interested or need my help, I'm not going to just disappear.
Well, I appreciate that, but what happens when you're gone? Who operates as a coordinator?
Hopefully we find enough needs and enough energy and the leadership, the organic leadership amongst you, and those that will ultimately additionally recruit will be able to carry this forward. I mean, I'm not a leader of this. I'm just kind of a facilitator, someone that's the guide to get started. But I suspect over time that there are people organically develop the kind of leadership and folks that will take this forward.
Well, I'm wondering why we don't have a local coordinator that you're training and why we don't have an office. Oversight Board has an office. They're hosting our CPC summits for us, and we're in their facility, but we have nothing. And why don't we have a physical facility?
I can't answer those questions, and I think that's something that as a group, whatever you think the needs are, whatever you think the level of support is required to execute your mission, that's something that you have to, sort through among yourselves and put forth the request to appropriate parties. But it's something you have to develop consensus among yourselves specific things that are required. I think facilitation is one, but beyond that, it's not clear, but it's something we still negotiate with APD and with the city.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question?
No public comment at this point. This is their meeting. So who's the next command that wants to give their report?
Annie Steve from Northeast. Our big news is that we interviewed and got 6 wonderful new board members. So
Wow.
we're really happy about that. And they're going to step in when our terms are up. And they're just terrific people from a varied background. And we're just so delighted to have them.
Well, congratulations, that is awesome.
Thank you.
And it's not an easy thing to do. And you should be applauded for that, and you should maybe share lessons learned with how you did it, because that's really great, it's really good stuff.
Thank you.
Next report?
Ron Hopkins from Southeast Area CPC. I can't beat Annie's report, but we have the potential, we have to interview them yet next month, the potential for 3 new CPC members. And we're in a big rebuilding process. We hit a low a few months ago, and we're close to having 7 or 8 full-time CPC members, citizens, and we're getting really good support from our Southeast Area Command police officers. Have a really good working relationship with them. So feeling very good about that. We also
That's excellent.
We all-
Excellent. I really like the working together with the APD folks. Because in the end, that's what's going to make the big difference, being able to work that through.
We've also had 3 of our 4 resolutions, recommendations reviewed. A 4th is yet to be reviewed. But out of the 4 that we recommended, 3 are being considered and worked on, and the 4th is being studied. So feeling pretty good about that now, too.
Excellent. Awesome.
All right, Steve, this is Eric from the Northwest. We don't have a whole lot of exciting news. We continue with our issues out in the Northwest. One big piece, we just got a brand new commander, and we're looking forward to meeting him. I believe he'll be at our next meeting on the 8th of August. He's in transition right now from working downtown with major crimes, coming out to the Northwest as the new area commander. So that should be an interesting change. We had excellent support from Dodi Camacho right up until her retirement, and it sounds like John Sullivan is going to be another excellent commander for us. So looking forward to working with him.
Excellent. You get a chance to maybe fix on the ticket from the very onset.
Yes. We'll shape him.
Hello, Steve, this is Jim.
Hey, Jim.
We have 3 recommendations. 2 of them are in the works, and one that actually got answered before I even was able to get it to Selena. And that was the Office of Neighborhood Coordination has 2 people that have been doing community policing for several years and have done a lot. They've been very helpful in giving us the neighborhood contact information where we can contact. And we had proposed moving them into the new positions that's being created by our city council for the council neighborhood folks. Our counselor, Brad Winters, asked me, he said, well, you got anything these people could help you with, and I absolutely jumped up on it. I also talked with Councilor Harris Sanchez, and then I set up a meeting with the president of the city council, Dan Lewis, who followed it up and had myself and Annie meet the director of council services and the new manager of the council neighborhood service, Sarah Mancini. And they have obligated to help us with our community outreach efforts. Now, this is in the development stage right now. They have these 3 people to hire, and the thought process we put on them is that each one of these new people who will be reporting directly to our counselor would be responsible for 2 of the commands. For example, the valley and the southwest, the foothills and the southeast, and then the northwest and the northeast on that. At this point, they are researching with the Office of Neighborhood Coordination's website and being able to incorporate us in with there so that we can get an immediate response and outreach efforts on that. And I've also dropped Todd's name so that Sarah can talk with him about the development she's done with, or he's done with the website on that. So it's very, very positive. John Zeman, the Director of Council Services, has informed us that the CPC's outreach efforts are our top priority on that. Annie, have you got anything to add on that one?
No, they're just being really cooperative, and I know Jim and I feel very positive and very optimistic about helping us to get more people to our meetings, to have a dialogue, and I think it's going to be great.
And
Yeah, this is tremendous. I mean, the advocacy you guys are doing and the strategic way you're working in operation, you know, you really are, you know, you're living up, you know, you really do live the word advocate. You're making it happen. And this is, you know, it's a great story that you guys talk about. The different, you know, folks you bring together, the different moves you're making to get it done. Really good stuff. I also, you know, if it happens that you begin to, you know, gain momentum and build your numbers, you'll be able to do more of that. You'll be surprised. You become, you know, real voices. And just, you know, strengthen numbers and just continue to urge the building up of the contact list and the email because, you know, that's really a great way to get your message out and to, you know, even growing your influence. Now, the kinds of things you're telling me, you know, I think, you know, how can we make sure that a broader audience hears this? Because, you know, people think that the CPCs are kind of, you know, there's still this narrative out there which is just not correct. That the CPCs are just kind of stumbling on the verge of collapse and not going anywhere. And people actually heard what is happening. I think we should change that narrative. So how do we get the message out about all the things that are going on, the positive things that are going on?
well, we're hoping through these new services we'll get that, but I also want to say that I want to thank Albuquerque Forward. I got an email. They submitted out a plea for participation in the CPCs. A well-written thank you very much, Albuquerque Forward, for that email out, letting them know. The next thing
That
I'd
was
like.
great. I saw that too. That was really good. That was the kind of outreach we did. So that's excellent. They have a broad audience. That was really positive.
Yes, they do on that. They regularly attend our meetings, and I enjoy the conversations that I have with them. The next thing, I'd like to kind of plant a seed for you. I've been talking with Ms. Martinez and on our outreach for diversity. You know, ideally, we would love to have, you know, representations from the Hispanic, the Black, the Islamic, all these organizations on that. And Ms. Martinez is agreed to work with me on trying to get a meeting with the civic leaders in September, and also see if we can get you to come in there and appeal to them. You know, we need,
I'd be glad to do that. I'd be glad to do that.
okay?
Give me enough lead time, and I'll make sure I get on my calendar, and I'll be absolutely glad to do that for you.
Well,
Why don't we just
it's
put the
a,
Hispanic that was kicked off by the city back on our council? Why don't we just handle that?
And I'm sitting right here.
You know,
It's
Mr.
a-
Rickman, you said you were gonna meet with Mr. Lovato, and you never did. And he was kicked off unfairly and against every rule that has ever been created. He's Hispanic, why don't we put him on? He's met all the requirements, he's graduated from the Citizen Police Academy, he goes on ride-alongs, he's familiar with this SOP. The guy has attended more meetings than a lot of our members that are seated. Why can't we just put him back on before we start having special meetings for diversity?
How can you discriminate and still act on it?
Ben, all right, we know your position.
Yeah,
Everybody here knows
absolutely.
your position. And that concern,
I would just like an
hold
answer
on,
because
Jen,
it is
you
part
had,
of the
you,
same thing.
you had your chance. We heard your piece.
Can I have an answer?
Hold on.
Can I have an
Let me
answer?
try to answer you.
Can
Okay?
Mr. Rickman answer?
Mr. Rickman is your trainer.
And
That
you
issue,
are-
that
And you
issue
are
is,
police oversight board.
that issue is
And you are
something to be
police
addressed
oversight
at
board.
your council.
The mayor addressed it,
It was the
Mr.
mayor
Harness.
who kicked him off. The mayor
It's-
put him
it's
on,
still- it
the
goes
mayor
back
kicked
to-
him off,
It goes
and
back
we
to
can't
the
get any
council.
resolution because we have no one to turn to.
It goes back to the council.
No, it
Yes,
does not,
yes,
because the
it does.
council did not kick him off.
It is up to the council to address
You're
that.
just passing a buck.
No, we're not passing the buck. The
You,
votes-
you have, Eric, this is none of your business. You're not a
It is-
member of Valley Area
it
Command.
is our- it
This
is-
little elite
it's our-
group
it's
that
our-
runs the
Cool.
CPC. No,
You're out of
Ben,
order.
I don't care. It's out of order to kick a guy
I
out
guess
who's
it's out of order
Hispanic,
to be
and then say you're
Hispanic.
gonna try to get diversity going on.
Well, Jenny,
It's
if you brought
ridiculous.
it up here, then why didn't you want anybody else to address it if you don't
Please,
want to bring it back to
Tell
your
me how we
valley?
can resolve it besides
bring it
telling me
back
to
to your
check
valley
the valley who
CPC.
has no authority. No rules,
Give
no
yourself
authority.
the authority to do it. Pass a motion. Bring the motion up before your command. That's all you have to do.
So there's no
And you, wait a
mutation?
minute, Ben, and you must also acknowledge that all of the CPCs have been changing the standards for participation, albeit what the city put out to begin with. So the CPCs are establishing their own standards, so move along that process.
I've asked to participate in the setting of those standards and I've been completely ignored.
Well, take it up with your CPC.
I'd like to take it up with Eric, who's writing the standards. Eric, could I please be included in the writing of the rules for this organization?
Time out, time out.
I haven't seen them.
Comment. You, her standards have been, because I gave the standards that you were on the committee with, I gave that to him, and it's been incorporated into it.
I have never seen these rules. I got one copy. I know that there's another version that Southeast read at their latest meeting.
all
So
right.
can I have a copy of the rules? Can I comment on the rules as you write them? Can I be included in this little group of 5 people? Please?
Ed, I send my
Take it up
emails
with
to
my
that
CPC
committee and
whether
they
I
don't
can
respond.
participate in the rule.
So what good does
writing
it do
for
to even
CPCs?
create a citizens police
That's
committee
ridiculous.
if we don't even get any
That's
response?
ridiculous.
Ben,
You know?
please,
You
have
know,
some respect
How
for
long,
them.
how long are you
Have
gonna
some
take
respect
on
for
this?
them.
Please let this meeting go forward. Otherwise, if we continue to do it this way, these things will happen in private and the public won't be here. So if you want,
Yeah, that's a
if
big
you
threat
want
out
to
there,
do it
isn't
that
it?
way, that's how it
Just
will
keep it in the
happen.
dark. And then you really establish
Yeah,
public
there's no
confidence, don't
speech
you?
for Hispanics in this whole like, arena. No voice. Okay, brother?
Yeah,
Let me explain what I do in the southeast. So,
I saw your video.
Version
I watched your
3.4.
entire meeting.
so what I've done is I've made copies for all of our CPC
Did you give me a
members,
copy?
and we've discussed it. I'll leave that up to you.
You said you saw it.
And
I saw the old one. I haven't seen the latest changes. I saw from 2 months ago, Ed. And I asked at that meeting to be
Steve, what do you want to do
included.
with your meeting?
And I was told, well, we don't want you to feel unincluded. But no one ever included me.
So what we've done is, we've taken version 3.4, which
I graduated from the Citizen Police Academy. I've gone on ride-alongs. I'm familiar with the SOP. I'm qualified. And I'm a voting member since October 2014, and I'm not even allowed to look at the rules and participate in the writing of them. How is this helping build confidence and conversation between APD and the public when we can't even work with each other?
So
Ms.
let's
Freya,
talk
I
about-
find that you have a lot of opinions and you've never attended the training. I was at both sessions.
Oh, don't
you
worry
never
about it,
attended.
Eddie, because I watched the videos of the training, so I'm just fine caught up there. Don't worry about it. I was at the
Okay.
hospital. Thank you.
Okay, so let's move back to the CPCs that we are discussing as our first agenda item. Have we heard from everyone, or do we have?
Southwest.
Still don't have copies of the rules.
Do you want me to go forward with talking about the Southwest? I don't have a lot to say, Rick. This is Jan Lopez.
Steve?
Or Steve, I'm sorry. Steve? You there?
Steve?
Hey, Steve, you still with us?
Hey, Steve, if you're under the desk, it's okay. Come out, come out.
Maybe that was the good sound.
Nothing funny about it.
I think we got about 5 bucks. Nobody?
Steve, you there? Let's try and get him back.
I'm here, come on.
Oh, there we go.
Steve?
Oh, that was okay.
Steve, this is Jan Lopez, Southwest. Can you hear me okay?
See the line is there.
Okay, Steve's here, he's happy to hear your voice. Larry and I are here, we are now voting members for the Southwest. We have one, recommendation that we are finalizing, and we will be submitting that, I believe, after the August meeting, or maybe before, if we all, get our parts done prior to that. I have been able to recruit one person who has been vetted by all of us at one meeting, the last meeting, and he has put in his application and willing to join us. So that means that we will have one more voting member as soon as he is processed through. In addition, we are cultivating another person who is very interested but needs to just have a little bit more time seeing how the process works, and I believe that he will be on board by this fall. And we are continuing to go forward with, once school starts, we are going to be talking to the student councils of at least 2 high schools in the Southwest Command, maybe 3. I think we only have 3, and hopefully we can get someone from each one of those student councils to join us. The person that I have applying as a member of the clergy. So we've, been working in that faith-based area as well. And I think that's it.
That sounds like a really important point, and that is certainly to reach out to those, high school counselors. Because having young people, I know, and a representative from that demographic can be very, very important. So, and a good source for that would be those student counselors. That's a very good thought. Well, once again, I'm just wishing that there was some kind of a newsletter or email to sort of capture kind of, kind of like a progress report or something, more extensive than what we were able to do, some of it we report, something that's more expansive, that really does point to the struggles and the advantages on the 28th, I think that's the date, there's a presentation before the judge.
Yes.
What is that saying right now? What's the plan as we speak on how we'll have CPC implement that?
All the concerns have been documented down, and we have a meeting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at the U.S. Attorney's Office. Annie, myself, Ron, and Doug will all be there.
Okay. And then I guess out of that meeting, they will give you guidance as to what they want to happen on the 28th.
Yeah, I'm hoping they'll give me some guidance, yes, sir.
Yeah. I assume at that point, if the judge is to get something in, to submit, secure something prior to the meeting, that he might ask maybe you to summarize your statement, and then he'll ask questions. That's likely to happen, but I'm sure the meeting with the U.S. Attorney, they'll probably give you, I guess, a little bit more what to expect than I can provide right now. So that's very important. And, the judge is the one who is really, in charge of all this. And he is very, very much interested in this aspect of the settlement agreement. So this is a real opportunity to make your points. So we take that advantage of. We had, this is in fact, so I'm working on the city, we had those horrendous shootings over the last month or two. You got any change in the environment there in Albuquerque as a result of those shootings in Dallas and in Louisiana and then the other shootings in Minneapolis?
The answer is no.
We did have, this is Annie at Northeast. We had our meeting this month, and we did, the whole meeting was about race and about how the police respond to people of color and we just had a pretty open, I thought it was a pretty open discussion.
Yeah.
So we get from our APD advisors, we have a detective and a lieutenant, and they both feel, as I understand it, that race is not as big a problem here as it might be in other communities. I don't know that I agree with that, but that's what they feel.
Well, what I did, I sent the chief, and folks who know right after the Dallas shooting, just to know, calm down the state about them and it's professional policing. While I've never been a police officer myself, I've worked with police departments, as a researcher, as an analyst, and trainer, off and on for almost 30 years, and they developed a very healthy respect for the profession. And I was certainly struck, once again, by, just the kind of people that become policemen. And I'm watching the scene in Dallas, and couldn't help but be moved by what you saw on television, because it's better. Officers running to the fire, running away from it, and risking their lives to protect people that were actually protesting against some of the things that they did. So
That's right.
I was moved on that. And sent the chief and tell them that at least for that day, I was thinking about the professional policing and how much we do need and appreciate it. create safer communities, and it takes for police officers to do their work as well. So I think what we do is, what this points out to me is, our work is that much more important, and the role we play is that much more crucial. So moving forward, now we got a lot of things in the play. I think the whole support issues need to be evolving and developing. You guys need to be working that really well. Definitely the outreach needs to be picking up and having those additional resources. Sounds like really create some energy and some more possibilities there. I assume you are working through the membership criteria. Still a little bit vague to me, and then the chief of you this meeting this evening, there's still a lot of feelings about how that should work. And I think being input from everyone on that and coming to some resolution at some point in the not too distant future, I think will help answer a lot of questions. And the example that was brought up today, I think sometimes if people feel that they're turning down wrong, I don't know, the appeal process or whatever, but I think just thinking it through and trying to do it in such a way that you build consensus with people that are genuinely happy with it is something that's going to take maybe a little bit more time. But it's something that's really important to this. Well, the big challenge, guys. You guys are like taking on the challenges and you're starting to knock it out, make progress. You know, you're pretty much, I don't know what to do anymore. You could be on run.
Not hard.
So what do you guys see as your big mountain to overcome moving forward?
What's your biggest obstacle moving forward?
I think for many of us, that one of the obstacles that we're facing continues to be bringing in that new membership and growing our CPCs. So when people are prepared to leave and move on, that we have folks ready to come in and take over the reins.
Okay. Well, it sounds like some of the steps that you outlined today was a good start. And you're probably going to have to continue, to get creative and think through that. And then you got folks like ABQ helping, helping. You might go back to them and see if they can be more, even be more specific in their effort to help the group folks. And then the other meeting steps set up. I think in time they will pay dividends. You will find folks moving forward. What about finding, have you started thinking through, the different roles? That comes up too. What's the role, the chair, the voting members, the non-voting members, or the other participants, and what they can do and can't do, and getting some clarity around that. Because that may help you in the long run with the numbers as well. Once you get a little bit more clarity and be able to talk to people more, in a more focused way about it. But, just things that I guess what you want to think about. So the immediate concern now is, I guess, getting ready to be with each other should be very important. And being able to answer the questions and follow up to the input that you provided. And then working through these additional, resource issues, following up to the meetings and working out, the kind of support that you're going to need to move forward. And I think we're all going to have to continue to be creative and follow up with these recruitment activities. I hope to get I want to come to Albuquerque in late August, but it really depends on what you guys set up with the September meeting. I want to come and follow up and visit all the CPC, at least attend each one of the CPC meetings. So in the try to arrange the trip where I can do most of that. I can't get it on one trip, I have to do 2 trips. I would like to come and talk to each of the CPCs over the next couple of months. So it worked out on my calendar as well. And then, the CPCs that I guess are still, struggling with attendance, maybe have to go one-on-one to focus more attention on those CPCs, just to make sure that we can keep them afloat while we begin to, recruit new voting members that new leadership and prepare ourselves to move forward. So I guess those are things that, are on my mind.
We look forward to your visit, Steve.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
you
do.
know, you know what we're talking about, try to capture what we just, you know, what we covered. And, yeah, I'm gonna try to get back there, and I guess, still for late August. And then again in September, you all can come up with a, you know, as soon as you figure out a date. As soon as they're meeting up with the, you know, the community stakeholders around the bush. So there's a trip in mid-to-late August, another trip in September, and I can also cover the CPCs at that point in time as well. But, this is all good. I try to get that to the call today, actually was doing enough training today, if you wasn't available. But, I'll be sure next time that, we get together, I'll have that to someone to say hello to everybody as well. And my wife is doing much better.
Oh, good. I was gonna ask.
And so she's supposed to be activated discharged at the end of March, 2 weeks. So that's kind of walking and stuff. She's doing so much better. And I appreciate all the prayers and stuff.
You bet, Steve. We really wish you and she all the best.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I guess we'll get, you know, we'll probably try to arrange a call or so in another month, probably sometime next month. And then that's when I'll be able to tell you when I'm coming to sit down some dates and talk about the logistics of the trip and just get some more updates. By that time, I'm sure some of these resource questions will make some progress there. We'll know what the direction is. I'll be able to talk about that. But, you know, it's easy to work on these issues. You know, these are things we have to just work our way through. And, you know, a little noise this afternoon, that's okay. You know one thing when I get noise like that? It bothers me a little bit. But what it also tells me is it's not she cares enough. You know, she cares. She may not, you know, I mean, if she cares, may not be in line with, you know, with the rest of us. If there's energy there, there's caring there. And I always keep that in mind when I hear that, you know. Here's a person that does care. That's why they're here, you know, being passionate, expressing themselves. There is caring there. So always try to find the positive. The positive everyone. I think there's a positive piece there. Anyway, thank you guys again.
Thank you,
Thank
Steve.
Okay, we'll talk again next month.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, this is the unofficial break time, but at this point, there is also going to be a presentation from Charlie Wissoff on CivNet.
Thank you. And thank you for having me and fitting me in your agenda. The CPCs are doing important work, and I appreciate the time to talk to you all. I'm going to speak very, very briefly about my background and why I'm here, and then sort of run you through what CivNet is, which you can sort of see the site up there, our homepage. So again, my name is Charlie Wissoff. My background is largely doing civic engagement, public participation, research, and work before starting CivNet. And just by the way, what CivNet is it's a new online platform here in Albuquerque for community impact work, social impact work, people trying to better engage with communities. And so just to go back to my background, I came out of civic engagement work in the field. Most recently I worked at the Kettering Foundation, and my last contract with them, for example, was studying the legal and policy framework around public participation and innovative initiatives of how to make that better. And the impetus behind creating CivNet was that we saw two problems that weren't really being addressed. One is, at the individual level, the barrier to engagement is much higher than it should be. If you care about police and law enforcement, if you care about mental and behavioral health, it's not easy to understand what's going on in your community, how you can get involved, or in particular, why you should care. And so CivNet is meant to lower that barrier. On the other hand, coordination and collaboration amongst organizations is very difficult. Some for structural reasons, some for things like territorialism, some for just inability to understand and comprehend complex systems that we live in and all the different actors working on the problems that you're working on. So we built and designed CivNet to address those two problems. We felt like they are two sides of the same coin. It's a new platform we just released in December. There are over 1,000 community members, close to 1,100 community members, mostly here in Albuquerque and the surrounding area already using it. I know you all talked a number of times about the need to speak about what the CPCs are doing, get more people involved, and I think Cement could be a really valuable, useful resource for this. It's completely free, so anyone is free to get on it, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So what the site does basically is two things. Four things. It helps people understand what's going on in the community, connect with others who care about similar issues, find opportunities to get involved, and organize to take action. And it does that in two basic ways. As you can see, this would be your homepage. You can sort of see what's going on based on the people you're connected with and what issues you're following. And then there's two basic ways that the site helps you get involved. And in addition, if any of you are on the site later and want to poke around, there is a tutorial mode that will walk you through what's going on if you don't have me here to explain it. So one of the ways that CivNet works are what we're calling action plans. Action plans you can think of as a project-oriented space for people to get involved. I'm going to show you one that I'm actually organizing that I think is relatively relevant to you. So my expertise, as I said, is doing public participation work, and this is an initiative that I'm helping organize around improving public participation in the city. We can always do better. There are good processes, there are bad processes, we can always do better. That's my belief, and a lot of it is based on my work that I did before starting CivNet. We wrote a really long report on how things can be changed, and the basic idea is to change the culture around how public participation is done. So there's some structural things we're trying to do, and then there's also some things we're trying to do in terms of building community capacity. So what these provide for is a common space to talk about what's going on, converse with others who care about this issue, so you have this newsfeed that you can post to with people. You can invite other people to join based on what issues people care about and what the action plan has been tagged as. You can see it's been tagged with civic engagement governance. And then what's unique about it, it has a lightweight task management system. So we're calling these calls to action. And what this allows people to do is to see all the different ways that a particular project is making an impact. So for a CPC, it could be things like give input on our standard operating procedure. And I'm going to bring up the action plan Dick created in a second, which is for the CPC, and one of the calls to action there is join the council. You can see here we had some of the same problems you guys are having. One of our calls to action is identify and invite diverse stakeholders. That's a very difficult thing. We realized that first meeting we had, there was only one person of color who showed up. So we're trying to make an intentional effort to invite more people, and we're inviting people to give us suggestions and help us out. And so what's really great about that is once you have put up a call to action, it allows you a mechanism to specifically follow the people who have expressed interest in following up on that call to action. So you see here our call to action is drafted in a statement of end goals. You can invite other people to join that action step, and then you can also specifically communicate with those people. Another really useful feature, particularly to you all, is that you have this resources tab. So, I'm just going to go and show the one that Dick has been using pretty well. You can search for, different calls to action. So, I don't think this is Dick's one. So what you can do here, this is one of the other ones. I know Dick has been uploading the minutes, I just want to show that one. Yeah, this one. So the way that here's a great picture, but it's just a very easy way to upload resources. So he's been putting the meeting agenda and meeting minutes up, and he's putting the newsletter up, he put the letter to Mayor Ferry up, and what this does is it makes those documents very accessible to everyone who is following that action plan, and everyone who said they're interested in the issue of police and law enforcement. And the other cool thing you can do is if you want to find other action plans related to what you're doing, it's all organized by issue. You can, for example, there's a mental and behavioral health one, there's a police and law enforcement one. You can go to that issue area and see all the different action plans that people have created and that have been tagged with that specific issue. The other main feature set of CivNet is more around connecting with and finding people in your network. So if you click on that Explore Your Community icon in the site, what it'll do is it'll take you to what is a network visualization of the people in your community. What's really cool here is that you can see everyone who has said they care about police and law enforcement. You can see everyone who's said they care about mental and behavioral health. So if you're looking for the people who have expressed interest in them, you can click on them, you can go to their profile, see what they've been doing. You know, maybe this person is someone who would want to serve on a CPC board. You can filter by location too, although not everyone has filled that out. We also add this really cool feature as well that allows you to filter by skill. So this is new, so not as many people have filled it out, but for example, if you're having a contentious meeting and you want someone who has facilitation skills, you can search for that person and see if maybe they're interested in joining your action plan. You can directly invite them to your action plan here. You can also tag those calls to actions that I showed you with these specific types of actions out there. So if you go to add a call to action here, you can see you can tag it by any of the things. And what this does is it helps match people up with the types of calls to action that they're interested in partaking with and the issues that they're interested in getting involved with. So, you know, I'll just wrap up by noting some of the needs that I saw here and that I think this might be really useful for. You're talking about getting diverse representation, you're talking about building trust, you're talking about getting more board members. This is a relatively easy way to identify board members. It is a relatively easy way to both keep track of the great work you're doing. You can post all the different calls to action you're taking. You can see who's volunteering for them. You have a very easy and accessible public dispersion mechanism for that, so it's visible to everyone in the community what you're actually doing and what that impact is through the actual actions you're taking. And our user base is very engaged. As I said, we have over 1,000 users. Our email notification open rate has been between 25 to 50%, which if you know anything about nonprofits is more than double the industry standard. And people are logging in, you know, every week to every month. So you have a very engaged group of people working on this. What I'm going to do now, I guess, is open up to questions, and I have a quick sign up here, so if any of you are interested, it takes 20 seconds to just sign up. It will create an account for you, and then you'll get a welcome email. And so I'll pass this around. It looks like this. If it goes black, you just click this button on the side and swipe.
What's the website, civnet.com?
So it's civnet.co. We actually just acquired civnet.com, so that will actually work now. And there's a splash page, and this is the actual site itself. So if you wanted more information, you can go to civnet.com, which will take you to a website like this. This will probably will come up if you Google it. There's more information here, and if you want to get to the actual site, you just click on this Try Our Public Beta button, and that'll take you to the site, and you can sign up.
And if we want to download Dick's picture, how would we find that website or that site?
So you can search. You could search.
Search Valley CPC?
Well, yeah, you can search Valley CPC. You can search Dick Dykesville. Yeah, search Valley,
okay.
And it'll come. The other thing you can do is if you go to this Find Action Plans piece, you can filter through the different action plans based on what issues they've been tagged. And you can also follow these issues, and that will start showing you information based on the issues that you followed. Everything I've showed you right now is completely free. We are, to be transparent, we are a for-profit. What we want to do is create a platform that the basic services are completely free for, and there will be services that are monetizable, but we're targeting that at the organizational level, and that will be more around things like social impact analysis and data analysis. So for example, if you're a nonprofit, whenever you apply for funding, okay. I'll multitask here. So whenever you're a nonprofit and you are applying for funding, you basically have to say, this is the social impact we had, these are how we achieved our goals. It's a notoriously difficult thing to measure. The way it's normally done is having people, just click on the right side button. Okay. It's a notoriously difficult thing to do. It's often done through surveys, having staff time spend valuable time inputting that data. So the idea here is that if you're a nonprofit, Civnet could help you generate that data in a way that's actually useful to your volunteers. So you're getting data on the impact they're having through their actions, how much time they're spending on it, and it would actually reduce the time staff would spend on making sense of that. So that's an example of how we might monetize it. But just to drive the point home, all the services I've mentioned here are completely free.
Who established the requirement for that?
For the free and...
What you do?
I'm not sure if I understand the question.
Was this an unsolicited proposal that you gave to the city or?
CivNet?
Yeah.
It's a completely independent organization. I'm the founder, and I started it up as I thought that I saw some needs that weren't being met. We have no formal relationship with the city. I've talked to a number of people in the city because I feel like it could be useful to their efforts. But most of the people on the site are on the site as individuals. There are some city members who are on the site as well. There are people who are leaders of organizations, but it's a decent mix.
Like LinkedIn?
Like
What did you that links it? LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. It's very much more action-oriented, so you can organize people around projects in a way you can't around LinkedIn. It's socially impact-oriented, so it allows you to filter by social impact areas rather than by business. I mean, I could compare a lot. There's a woman who has her hand raised. Do you mind if I?
Sure.
So you have about 1,000 users, you said?
We're at
Roughly?
1,080 as of today.
So if they were looking for a person of color for the CPCs, I understand that CivNet would be able to, identify those persons, but, the issues why you don't have people of color on your board is beyond just trying to find them.
Yeah.
And so, how does it address, for instance, I don't think it would address the causes or the reasons why there are no people of color. And I would just, my concern would be that people would think that this is all that they have and we can find people of color on CivNet. But the reality is, again, community policing, we should be more engaged in trying to find those people